Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Lately, it has been very smooth sailing for the cruise industry. My next guest is Rosa. He is with Skypass Travel. Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thank you, Jeff. It's great to be here.
It seems like each year the industry keeps shattering old records. I mean, cruising is really where it's at, isn't it?
It really is. It's growing quite a bit. There are new ships on the horizon. There was just a new ship launched last week in Miami. Pitbull was the godfather of the ship, and it's the Norwegian Escape. It's going to be sailing in the Caribbean. A really large, 5,000 up to 5,400 guests in terms of the new ships that are coming online. So there's a lot going on in the industry right now.
One of the things that you and I were talking about off the air was the idea that it really is a bargain when you think about it. If you're taking a traditional vacation, either by air or car, you're still paying for the hotel, paying for the food, paying for the gas, right?
Yes, absolutely. Cruising is an incredible value. When you stop and think of all of the components that are in a cruise vacation. You have transportation, getting from one port of call to the next port of call. You have meals, incredible gourmet food served on cruise ships, and plenty of it all throughout the day. And you have entertainment. You have all sorts of activities. It's really an all-inclusive vacation. And when you add what it would cost you to do a land vacation versus a cruise vacation, tremendous value in cruising.
And not to mention, I would add stress-free, because if you're taking the family in the station wagon, you're kind of stressed out. It's like, are the kids going to watch a movie? Are we going to get there? Are the rooms? I mean, it's kind of set it and forget it on a cruise, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And you only have to unpack once.
Yes.
And if the kids want to go watch a movie, there'll be a movie playing somewhere on the ship. If there are all sorts of children's activities, if you're bringing your kids along, and there's just so much going on. And it's not like there's a schedule where you have to be at a certain time, to do a certain activity or whatever. It's basically all freestyle. So it's what you want to do, when you want to do it, and there's a lot going on. You have to recognize a lot of these cruise ships are literally floating cities.
Wow.
And, it's just tremendous, some of the activities that are on cruise ships right now. Everything from zip lining to surf riders to playing golf off the back deck. I mean,
really?
It's incredible, all these things that are going on.
My guest right now, Rosa with Skypass Travel. That's skypasstravel.com. So let's talk about getting a great deal. Is there a science? I mean, do you wait for the last minute to try and get the deal because you know that an empty cabin is the most expensive cabin there is for the cruise line, or do you book early? What's the best way to get a great deal?
Well, really, if you want to have the choice, booking early is important. There'll be times when there'll be some last minute cabins that'll be available, but you really can't count on that happening. So it's really important to, first of all, find a travel professional,
right?
And that's something that we pride ourselves in doing. In fact, we've just entered into a new venture with Expedia, a known and trusted name in travel, and we've just opened up the Expedia Cruise Ship Center here in Dallas, Las Colinas.
Wow.
It's the first of its kind in this area, in this part of the country. And we're there to be able to give you professional advice, to give you the flexibility to call, to click, or to come in, and to have the resources.
That's quite a feather in your cap, I would say. Just Expedia, obviously, one of the largest travel companies on the planet. For them to partner with you really says a lot about how you guys have run your business over the years.
Absolutely, and we started in Dallas as a small travel agency 26 years ago, and in probably about 150 square feet. And we now just recently opened up our new corporate headquarters in Las Colinas, a beautiful 2-story, state-of-the-art building with a lot of technology, and allowing us to kind of bring everything together and to
Absolutely.
serve our clients.
And I want to give a shout out to Victor Abraham. I think one of the finest men I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. He's just a good man, high character, done everything through hard work and excellence.
Yes, absolutely. Victor is our CEO, and I'm proud certainly to be part of the Skypass Group organization.
Well, let's talk about some hot destinations. So when you think about cruising, I mean, there's everything from like cruising to a cold weather area like Alaska to a tropical destination, right?
Absolutely. I mean, there are cruises throughout the world. If you've never cruised before, you might contemplate, well, maybe we'll take a cruise out of Houston or Galveston. It's nearby, it's easy to get to, and so forth.
Right.
But really, cruising goes far beyond anything that you could see or experience. Cruising out of Texas. There's, of course, the Caribbean, the Southern Caribbean. There is cruising through Europe, Northern Europe, river cruising, explosive growth in river cruising, going down the Rhine River or down the Danube and stopping off in small villages and towns. And even those river cruise ships have bicycles on board so that you can literally, as you pull into a small village, get on a bicycle and explore a small village all on your own.
So if somebody calls you guys for the first times because they've never gone on a cruise before and they've just said, this is the time we're going to go ahead and do this, what are some of the questions that you ask to try and cater the right cruise to the caller?
Well, that's the key thing is to really understand what that traveler is really looking for. What are their interests? Where have they been? Where have they traveled before? Are they celebrating a special event? Is it an anniversary? Is it a honeymoon? Or is it just a week out with friends and family? It's very important to understand who your traveler is and their interests, their bucket lists. I mean, and then we can look at so many opportunities, so many options. Budget, of course, is very important in terms of where you can go. You can go to Antarctica. You can go to the Galapagos Islands. There are just so many different areas in the world, and it's really going to depend on your interests, your budget, and really how well traveled you've been and what your interests are.
In terms of getting the best value, is there a difference in terms of like a 3-day cruise versus a 5-day cruise versus a 2-week cruise? I mean, is there kind of an upfront cost, and then after a certain number of days, you're really getting an amazing value for your dollar?
Well, there's some amazing values if you travel on what's called repositioning cruises.
Okay.
So these are cruises, for example, an Alaskan cruise during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
That cruise ship has to go somewhere in the winter. It's not going to stay up in Alaska. So what will happen is that ship will reposition from Alaska down to Southern California, for example, or it may go through the Panama Canal and go into the Caribbean. So you might then have a 10 or 14-day repositioning cruise. That also happens a lot on cruises repositioning from Europe in the summer, coming down to the Caribbean in the winter. So you can literally, on a cost per day basis, end up with a tremendous value by taking one of these repositioning cruises. You might spend a few more days at sea, but remember, this is a floating city. There is plenty to do, so much there. There is no way that you're ever going to be bored, no matter how old you are.
Right.
And
well, I have
what
to
your
imagine
interests are.
one of the perks of your job is that you gotta try out some cruises, just to, quality control. What are some of your favorite cruises that you've taken?
I would say Alaska is certainly up there. It's just so impressive to walk out of your stateroom onto your own private balcony and to feel like you can almost touch that glacier as it's going by. It's just incredible. The Southern Caribbean is also a favorite because it's easy enough to fly to, let's say, San Juan, Puerto Rico, and board a cruise ship there, which will literally have you on a different island every day.
Wow.
And really exploring the Caribbean in that manner. River cruising is also just tremendous. They're just places that you're just not going to see any other way.
Wow.
And to be on the Rhine and to see those castles up on the hillsides and so forth, it just brings new meaning to what Europe is all about.
Wow. We only have about 30 seconds left. How do people get a hold of you?
Well, they can call 844-GO-SHIPS. That's real easy to remember. And we're here in Las Colinas. It's the Expedia Cruise Ship Center, and we're open Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 9:30 to 6.
And the website again
is cruiseshipcenters.com/Dallas Las Colinas.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thank you, Jeff.
Just ahead, Darrell K. Royal is a Longhorn legend. A new book reveals parts of this Texas icon that he rarely shared with the public.
More of the Jeff Crilley Show coming up.